Hey YouTube, Believing Better here, 9th of December 2012. This is a video on Phil Schneider, the guy I was talking about in one of my first videos. This is really interesting, guys. Suggest you check it out. I'm not going to play the full hour and 20 minutes, probably just the first half hour. See what you make of it. Enjoy.
Working with the black projects, I was picked because I was very strong mentally. I was involved in something very controversial in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. To our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for, as best as believed possible, about 400 or 500 years. It had been one of their internal bases. And we drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up. And, well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really, all started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment, special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time or reach for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folder all of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walter PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to interrupt it there. Don't get confused. This is kind of the mid-interview that he done in front of a lot of people. This particular YouTube video is kind of an explanation into the story of Phil Schneider. If you want to watch the full documented interview, you can catch that on YouTube. I think it's about an hour and 46 minutes long or something, and it's just on Phil. These are going to be clippets of all sorts of of other people and other related things to DUMBs, deep underground military bases, ETs, UFOs, all sorts of things like that, and of course government conspiracies and black projects. So I'm going to continue it here, but like I said, if you want to watch the full Phil Schneider interview, then you can catch it on YouTube.
However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish, and burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy critter in my left foot. Burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember is the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the bags and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat.
Acknowledge it was a homicide. Other than that, I'd like to also mention something about my father. My father was a U-boat captain in Hitler's Navy, and he got captured and taken over. I didn't find this out until about 2 weeks before he died. On his deathbed, he kind of told everybody in total shock. I was one of them. In fact, I didn't believe him. I thought he was kind of in delirium or something like that. And of course, other things have come up since. And so, anyway, he was captured by the French, turned over to the Third Army, the U.S. Third Army, and then U.S. Third Army turned him over to the Navy. And he was a master machinist. Now, it's not a journeyman. A master means that they can take a block of metal and make a gun or a watch or some other fine instrument. And he was a master machinist. He later became an MD doctor and part of the aerospace medicine group of the United States Navy. Was instrumental in helping build the USS Nautilus.
Sorry guys, just another quick interruption there. This is Richard Dolan. There's another interviewee from Project Camelot. That's a really good interview. One you guys should check out. It's Richard Dolan. He gives out some good information here and some good facts. But yeah, watch the Project interview as well. It's good. And continue.
I'll answer this in a couple of parts. First of all, the idea of underground bases and underground civilizations. This is a very old idea in human history. Going back even thousands of years, you've got ancient tribes around the world that have made these claims. We would say it's in their midst, but that there are secret caverns, secret races, secret tribes that exist underground. And really, when one talks about, for example, hollow earth theory, that's a lot of what we're talking about here. Not all hollow earth theorists say that the entire earth is hollow. A lot of them will say that there are just substantial caverns under the ground where there are civilizations that are down there. So that's an old idea. You get it in a lot of ancient European,
a small island nation in the center of the Mediterranean Sea. Further evidence of the use of advanced technology on Malta can be found underground. In 1902, construction workers, while building the foundation...
Okay guys, just another interruption here. This is the series that was on the History Channel of Ancient Aliens. It's quite a good series actually. I watched them all over here in the UK. They were quite good. It sometimes seems like maybe they are trying to make the public aware and slowly sort of introduce them to a different fact of life, so that they don't have to disclose the truth themselves. You never know, just a theory. But yeah, it was on normal terrestrial TV. So, but anyway, yeah. Continue with this one.
For several houses, accidentally discovered a mysterious underground sanctuary dating to 2500 BC. Called the Hypogeum, the subterranean structure was revealed to be 3 levels deep, all hewn from solid stone.
It's been estimated that they removed more than 2,000 tons of stone from these subterranean chambers to create a space that beautifully replicates the temples above ground.
Perhaps one of the greatest mysteries concerning the Hypogeum involve the acoustical properties in what is called the Oracle Room.
The acoustic properties within this are absolutely extraordinary, because what happens is that if a person is within the Oracle Room, the way that their voice is carried is heard within the whole of the complex.
The second part of my talk will be the aliens and the alien agenda. We already touched on that. Old alien bases. And like I said, Bikini Island, according to what was studied after the A-bomb blast, some of the caves that were infested with out-of-place artifacts dealing with UFOs and other kinds of paraphernalia and rock forming around them. So they had been basically an alien junkyard in shallow seas for probably the better part of 10,000 years. So they've been around. That you might call an old alien base. Dulce, New Mexico is another old alien base. The aliens have probably been here the better part of at least 500,000 and maybe as much as several million years. Although I have artifacts here which show.
Native Americans have this tradition. The Tibetans may have the most extensive tradition of this, for all I know. South America traditional tribes have this as well. So that by itself is interesting, and you might ask, why do all of these disparate civilizations have these types of ideas? And I don't have the answer to that, but I can tell that's an old idea.